Hello, hello. Welcome. This is Nina Erjavik, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the U.S., and I want to thank you for joining me, and I appreciate you so much. This is Technique Tuesday. It is in video format for now. I'm hoping to go live here soon. I only need 26 more followers here on Facebook. So we're kicking off today with the baby wipe technique, and it is so easy. All of the products that I use are from Stampin' Up! And I will put links in the comments below so that you will be able to find them right here with this video. And I'll do that every video as well. Okay. So this is my website, so you can find all the products here. So if you have any questions, absolutely ask me in the video. So please interact with me as if I were live. So I will go back and I will answer all of your questions and your comments after I post the video. So let's get started. Let's do one more thing. I am going to give away some products. So here's how you have a chance to get a free product from me. Here's how you enter. Okay, follow, if you haven't already, my website here, and either give me a heart, which is preferred, obviously, or a thumbs up for this video. That will get you an entry. And then also share this video. Share it with your friends. Invite somebody to join or to follow me. Comment and ask questions for sure, because I really want to know what you're thinking. Try this technique and post a picture of this technique in the comments here at the bottom. If you try this technique or any of the techniques, this goes for all of the Technique Tuesdays. If you try this and you post your product or your project in the comments, do it by Friday, okay? So that I can put everybody's name in along with the drawing into the drawing, so I can pick a random winner. You can always post your products here, like I said, in this post. Winners will be announced on Monday, okay? So that's that piece of information. So now we can get to stamping. Okay, so with this, we're going to use baby wipes. And let me tell you, I've tried all kinds of baby wipes. I've also tried bathroom wipes, okay? But what I have found is that they're all great products for babies, right? But for our technique, we do not want it to have, I don't know if you can see this, but it has a texture on there. We do not want the texture. The texture will show through. So what I have found, I'm going to use that one for my hands. What I have found is this one right here does not have any kind of texture to it. Okay, so what I do is I like to stack 5. I tried 4. 4 was a little, what we're doing here is we're creating a stamp pad, okay, a multicolored stamp pad. I like to use 5. I tried 6. 6 was a little much. 4 was not quite enough, and I think 5 is going to be perfect, because we are going to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 more. We are going to fold it in half, so then it's going to give us double, right? So I said this was going to be a quick video. No, it's not. It's not going to be a quick video at all. So if I have problems posting this to FB, Facebook, I will post it to my YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel also needs some love. So I need some subscribers there so I can go live there as well. Okay, so I have 5 sheets folded in half. Now, I'm going to put those behind me. Then I have chose some ink refills. Okay, ink refills work best. I don't know what else you would use, but we're going to use ink refills. Now, how I chose these colors, there's multiple ways. I chose these colors by looking at the back. I've got some stuff on there. On the back of my designer series paper, and it tells me the colors here. So I picked out the colors that were my favorite, or the colors that I wanted to use. Okay, the other way you could do it is just pick out your favorite colors, and trial and error is also an option. And you can also pick out colors here from your color coach. So this will help you pick, you know, your colors that you want that go well together and won't muddy up. So that's, if you use something like this or the colors that are on the DSP, the Designer Series paper, that will help give you a starting point, okay? So here are my colors. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from my lightest color to my darkest. And for this particular one, since my stamps are pretty small, I am going to make mine a half of a pad. Now, what I'm going to do is do the top with my flower color and the bottom with my leaf color. Okay, so I'm going to start with the lightest color first. And this one is Petal Pink. And I'm just going to drop, squeeze and drop, no rhyme or reason, to this part. Okay, and then I'm going to go to my next color, which I think is going to be Flirty. This one's Flirty Flamingo. And I am just going to kind of just drop them haphazardly. I'm going to leave this part down here for my leaves. Okay, my leaf colors. This one here is Calypso Coral. These are my colors right here. Now you can tell this one is a lot darker, so we don't want as much as this one. That's my green. Okay, so then I'm going to look at it and go, okay, now what do I need? I think I'm going to need more Petal Pink. And I'm going to fill in the spots where there's white space, where there isn't any color. I'm going to go back in with Flirty Flamingo. Now this is totally up to you. The more white space you have, the more white space you're going to have on your stamp. Solid stamps work best, but outline stamps work as well. It just depends on the look that you want, and I will be able to show you that. Okay, we're going to go ahead, so put these aside. We're going to go ahead and do the green. I'm going to do Lemon Lime Twist. I'm going to take it to the bottom here. I kind of did too much on for the flowers, but that's okay. Lemon Lime Twist. And then we're going to do a Granny Apple Green, because I needed some little brightness to this. And then I'm going to do some Old Olive. We're not going to go this far down, so it's okay that kind of, this one is a little thick. Be sure to shake up your bottles too. I shook them up before we started, so we're good there. And then I needed a hint of dark, okay, a little bit darker to balance this out. Now, it doesn't matter. You can use these same colors again and again, and you are going to get something different. And so I've done samples up already, but you're still going to get a different, result, okay? So I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to bring in a piece of very vanilla cardstock. I don't know if you can see this, but I did put all of my stamps on blocks, okay? So we're going to start off with, let's do the little ones. So we're going to start off with the solid. So you have a solid and you have a detailed. So we're going to do the solid first, okay? So I may not even, yeah, I might. Okay, so I'm just going to tap. Now it's super wet. And with photopolymer, they like to have a little bit of cushion underneath. So I'm going to put a paper piercing mat down. And you can see this is really, really wet. So it ought to give us a nice color. It's that simple. See the color variation? I'll pull it up for you. See the color variation in that? Isn't that awesome? Okay, so we're going to go up here a little bit, and you don't have to clean your stamp really, because it is you're going into the same colors and you're mixing them anyway. So see how you get the color variation? I love it, because no flower that I know of is one color, unless it's bred to be one color. There's always some kind of color variation. So there's that one. Okay, now this I don't think I'm not gonna do the detail. No, because we'll do the detail in a solid color like Calypso Coral or the Pretty in Pink. I'll show you that here. That we'll use that for the pad. And then here is the large flower and the detailed flower. Okay, these stamps are from the Petal of Beauty stamp bundle. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the dies. Okay, so we're going to need actually this die, the detailed. So instead of stamping the detail, I'm going to actually die cut, and I'll show you that here shortly. All right, so let's go do the background, the solid. Now the only thing is, and I do suggest, is that you leave yourself a space where you can actually hold it down, or you can use gloves. Now this technique is not a clean technique. You will get inky, so use gloves if you need to. And you're going to get different colors. Now if you want more dark, you go up here to this little dark dot up there. But each flower you stamp is going to be different. That's the beauty of the baby wipe technique. I love this. I had so much fun playing with this and doing different colors. Okay, so that's it on the flowers. So I did 3 large flowers, 4 small flowers. And then we're going to go do the leaves. And for this particular one, I did this leaf here, the little 3 leaf. I don't know if that's the leaf that goes with that particular flower, but that's the leaf that I'm doing. You can do anything you want on your card, right? Now, this one is not blending as well, so I'm going to add some water. I'm just going to spritz some water onto here, just to help those colors blend a little bit more. Let it set for a second. I kind of got ink everywhere. Yep. Okay, so this is why you use gloves. Okay, but you know what? It's not fun unless you get all inky, right? Let's see how this did. You can also stamp, or you can also spritz your paper or your stamp. It's totally up to you. You're going to get different looks. So this is a little bit more wet, so it kind of bled a little more. So you can see how this can get very addicting. But these are going to actually be cut out, but you can definitely stamp them on your like watercolor paper, or right onto your project and do a background. Now, so there is that. Now you can also take, and I'll show you in the next one, but say you wanted to do a just a background, right? You can take your acrylic block and take it into the stamp pad and then take it onto your paper. Now with this one, I find that it's better to actually, once you have inked it, take a spritz bottle and spritz it, not on your table, but off the camera here, and then take it, and then it's going to go and give you a nice gradient. Now once that dries, it'll be an awesome print. So this is another thing that you can do with this particular. I kind of put it on the edge and then I kind of go forward with it. Again, every time you do it, it's going to be different. Okay. Needless to say, I go through a lot of wipes in my stamp room, especially when I'm doing something like this. Okay, so this, I mean, you can keep continuing to use this and use this and use this until it starts to dry out. Once it starts to dry out, you can add just a spritz bottle of water, okay, and just get it more wet if you want to do that. But for now, I am going to set this one aside. So see it, the ink goes all the way through. So technically you could kind of flip it over and do it again, but I'm going to put that one aside, and we're going to show you what I did with this particular card. Put this one aside. Okay, let me clean my hands real quick. So what I did, clean up my space because there's ink here. All right, grab a tissue. So what are you thinking so far? Are you ready to try it? Look, I even got it on my sign there. Are you ready to try it with your favorite colors? Oh, just wait. There's more. There's more. But wait, there's more. Okay, so this is what I did the other day. So I did cut out some vellum. And here are the ones that I cut out, or I did the other day. Now this one, I stamped the detail on top with Calypso Coral. So this is perfectly fine. You can do that. And I did that with all of these here. But you can also cut out these pieces, which are these dies. Okay? And then layer it on top. Now, these are not meant to mirror the stamped image. They are meant to hang off. That's how they were designed, to hang off, to add texture and depth to your flower. Okay, here is a leaf that I did, but I did not use, but you can see the color variation in the leaf. And then here is a small one. This is even lighter. This is actually towards the end where I wet it, I spritzed it, and so then because it started to dry, so I spritzed it, and that's what gave me the softer color variation. So you want to see what I did? So here is the card. How cool is that? So all of these leaves and the flowers are done with this technique, the baby wipe technique. And this is the inside. Okay, so on this one I did put, this is petal pink. I did stamp the detail. I did stamp the detail, and these are just using the little ones, 3 little ones. I did stamp the detail with the Calypso Coral, and I'll show you that. This is one of our older pads, but I still use it. So the easiest way to stamp this is, to get this part correct and on top where it should be, is see this little petal here, the longer petal? It matches up with the long petal on the solid stamp. Okay, so all I'm going to do is kind of match that up, and it matches perfectly. So that gives even more depth to that flower, because you can see it's darker here and darker up here. So you can do that as well, and then you can add on the little pieces on top, or you can leave them off. It's totally up to you. This color here is the Secret Sea, and then the little yellow dot is actually just my blend, my Darling Duckling blend, for those, because I needed another color to fill in the back. So that is that color. So all of these supplies will be posted in the comments with the picture of the card with all of the supplies with links. Okay, so there's that, and that will take me a little bit to do that, so that might not be done tonight, but it will show up. Okay, so that is that one. I did, like I said, use Petal of Beauty. I used the Pearls of Beauty. I used the Everyday Arches, and for the Just Because, I used the Words of Beauty. And that is a stamp set. I keep my stamp set and my dies in the envelope that they come in. Okay, if you want to know more about that, I can do another video on that. Okay, so that one is the first one. So let me close up these pads, put these away, and not get ink on my card. Okay, let me clean up here real quick so I can get the next one out. So, fun technique. I think you will love it. Let me move these out of the way. Okay, I have another clean block. these go over here. All right, because I am doing 2 demonstrations, I need to clean up a little bit. Okay, all right. Okay, this is speed stamping. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do is a wintry one. Who's getting snow right now? I am getting more snow. We got 12 inches a couple weeks ago, and now we're getting more, but hopefully not as much as we did the last time. Hopefully just a couple inches. Okay, the stamp set that I'm using on this one is Snowy Delights. Now, with this stamp set, it is a last chance. The dies have already sold out, but this is the only stamp set I have for snowflakes. So I guess I have to go buy new, huh? Okay, so let's get started here on this one. This one, we are going to use white cardstock. I'm going to get out more baby wipes because we're going to create a whole new pad. And this one, we are going to do some paper, some blending, some ink blending. And let me get my little 5. I didn't want to do this earlier because they would have dried out before I got to the video. So I didn't want to do that. But I do suggest if you don't want ink on your hands and you are going to do multiple colors, you definitely want to wear gloves. That's 3. I think 4 would be fine because you've seen that it didn't go through. So let's try 4. So we're going to do 4 on this one. Just kind of make sure it's nice and spread out. I'm going to fold it in half again. I could have done a better job on that. There we go. Okay, you don't want this little bump here. You want it to be nice and flat. Okay, it's just where the baby wipes kind of, there we go. Because you don't want that bump there. Okay, I'm going to put it back on here. All right, now the colors we're going to use for this one, is more of a wintry color. Now my sample, I used more purple, so I'm not going to use so much purple this time on mine. We're going to use 4 colors and some blending brushes. Okay, so let's go light to dark. So we'll do blue. So I want more of a blue green. And this one we can do the whole pad because we have quite a big stamp. So just kind of gauge your stamp on how much space you're going to need. And I think I want more baby blue, or not baby blue, balmy blue. I'm thinking of baby wipes. So have you been thinking about what color you're going to do? Please share the colors that you think might be good, and maybe I'll try them. Then I'm going to go into Pool Party. Pool Party, I think I want a little bit more Pool Party. So I'm going to squeeze it and just kind of move it around, kind of filling in those blank spots and overlapping just a little bit. You know, there's really no right or wrong to this. I can just tell you what worked for me and what didn't work for me. And then this one here is Coastal Cabana. So I want more of these 3 colors than the Highland Heather that I'm going to add. So I'm going to just cover up. At this point, I'm just covering up those blank spots because I don't want to have just blank spots on my stamp. So you definitely want to cover those up. And then I'm going to come in with Highland Heather, but I'm only going to do a few drops of this. I'm not going to do, and I'm going to actually kind of put these in where there are white spots. And as you can see, they're starting to bleed together, which is what you want, because you want it to be a saturated pad. Now, when you go to stamp too, you can also move your stamp around the pad so that it actually gets color covered, okay? All right, so then we are going to use this stamp set. And I'm sorry that this is like going away. I really wish it wasn't, but that just means new things are coming in, right? Now, I do need my large my large pad, or my large acrylic block that's right here. So I'm going to put this over here, wipe this off because it's got ink on it. Okay. Because we do not want green in our snowflakes. With photopolymer, you always want to let it sit on your table, on your space. Sorry about the glare. I think my glass mat is giving a glare where the lights are. So I'm just going to kind of cover that up. Okay, so here we go. Now this is a really big stamp, okay? But what you want to do is you want to just kind of hold down and just tap. Okay, this one is one that you can't turn your pad over and stamp on top of your stamp, right? Now, I said before that solid stamps work best. Here is an example of an outline stamp and how it turns out. And then, so I don't know, can you see the coloration? So it has more of a lighter color to it than what the other one that I have is. So let's do something. Let's go ahead and cut this down to be a card front. So we're going to cut this down to be 5.5. And I'll show you how I did that other one. We're going to also score it at 4 1/4. This is our standard card size here in the US. I think it's called an A4 card. I very rarely make cards that are bigger than the 8.5 by 4 1/4. And when you fold it, then it becomes 5.5. Okay. So we can also do this one, and I'll show you how I created the other one. Okay, so with this one, so you could stamp smaller ones here or another one, but I want to show you what I did with my last one, with the sample that I'm going to show you. Okay, so we're going to do this again. It doesn't matter. You don't have to clean it off. If you want to, you can, but you really don't need to. Okay, so this one, let's bring back this paper here. So I'm going to stamp it in this corner here. Okay. I'm pressing down even. And then I'm going to come back here again. So essentially what we have created is a multicolored stamp pad. Okay. This is where your fingers kind of can get a little yucky. This one a little further. Okay. All right. So there is the card front. And you see the colors? So, you can go back in and you can add colors to it if you want a different color in there, or you can turn it over, because at this point, it hasn't totally bled through yet because we have 5 layers. Actually, we have 10 because we folded it. So you can turn it over and use the same color scheme and maybe do a little bit more of one color versus the other. So what I did with my sample, and I'm going to show you my sample. Make sure I don't have any ink. So here is this one. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, how'd she get this? What I did is I die cut my snowflakes, which, like I said, these are no longer, but, and I apologize for that, but I die cut my snowflake, and then I just laid it on here. And then I used a block, which I don't have one made. Let's see, I can cut one real quick so I can show you. How's that sound? I know it's going to take up a little bit more time, but we can do that, right? My video, right? Okay, so let's cut a piece real quick. since I'm not going to use this one, we'll go ahead and cut this out on here. Let's do the little one, because I think it takes color really well. Okay. Let's cut this out real quick. Oh, can you see? Okay. Okay, you will need a poker to poke these out. They do poke out really easy. And I'm just going to poke this out here. Then I'm going to pull it. Help it out a little bit. Now, a trick for this too, if you have new dies and they're sticking here, put some little bit of wax paper in between here and your paper, between the die and your paper, and it will condition your dies and help them come out a lot easier. See, all of it came out. Okay, so here is this. We can get rid of these. I have a garbage can behind me here. Okay, now this one you are going to get messy, so you just have to maybe use gloves. But I'm going to use just a plain block. I'm going to put it face down onto my pad, and I'm just going to rub. And you can see how the color is cut bleeding through. That's how you know it's totally covered. So this is the third way you can use your pads. Okay, I'll stick that over there. I'm going to lift this up with a poker. Now, not everything got covered, but that is totally okay. But look at that. Isn't that pretty? So you have the purple, you have the, you don't see my blue, well you do see the blue, the balmy, or the balmy blue is up here, and then the Coastal Cabana is here, and then the Pool Party is kind of mixed in, but look how pretty that is. So that is how I achieved these two snowflakes here, okay? And then what I'm going to set this aside so it can dry. Okay. And then, I don't know if you noticed, but on this card here, I did do some blending. And all I did with this is I took my stamp pads. This is the old style, this is the newer style. But I just took my blending brush. Okay, take some off because you don't want that concentrated ink to come onto your project. And then I just swirled the edges. Pick up some more. Take some initial off and then just go around your card. You can add as much or as little as you want. Remember, you can always add, you can't take away. So I would start off light and then add. If you're kind of leery on doing this. Okay, then close this one up so no accidents happen. I have put finished product, a finished project or product in my open stamp pad before. It was not good. And then I'm just going to blend in some of the Pool Party. Yes, that's Pool Party. Okay, so that's how I got the background. Okay, so that's how I got this background. And then this I just embossed with white embossing powder. And I think if you need a video on that, I think somewhere down the line there will be a video on embossing. Okay, so that is that one. So that is the two cards that I have to show you. But I want to show you some other color variations that I played with, okay? So let's put these up real quick. Move all this stuff aside. Move this wet stamp pad aside. Grab a drink. Okay, So, you guys still with me? Okay, so this particular bunch of cards, this was my first play, right? I've done this before, but this was, for this video, this was my first time. These are what I did. Excuse me. Okay, so with this particular color scheme, I used, these are the colors I used: pumpkin pie, Cajun craze, crushed curry, cherry cobbler, and garden green. Now, I used all of these colors. Would I suggest using 5 colors? Probably not. But if you work quickly, they won't muddy up. And these did fine. These did fine. Okay, so depending on how you, I think that was something different. Okay, depending on how wet your pad is, depending on how they are going to come out. Okay, so this one wasn't too wet, but it's still good to use as leaf backgrounds, right? This one is a little bit more wet because it started to bleed through. Okay, so I want to show you what I came up with. These are pieces, they're not made into cards yet, but this here is those, as a sample, an example of those 5 colors. Okay, all right, and then all I did, this set here is autumn trees. Okay, so this particular bunch here is autumn trees. It's this set here. This is a last chance, so it will be going away once it's sold out. This one does have dies as well. And then you could this one I cut out the piece out of one of these papers. Oops. Oh, goodness gracious. They're all tangled together. So this is the detail for the tree. Okay, so you can add this onto the tree to really give it more definition. You can cut several of these out and add to the tree. And then I cut out the tree trunk, which is still part of the tree, so that I can add a darker tree trunk to it. So how gorgeous is this going to be? I didn't want to do all fall colors because we're just in January. So, but I wanted to give you an idea as to what you could do come fall. Okay, so that is this one, using all the same colors. Okay, I also cut out some butterflies. This is beautiful butterfly. This one is the same. This one is also a last chance. But here are the little bug bodies, the little butterfly bodies. So I actually cut these out in black. But you know, you could always cut them out in whatever color you want. I was thinking more of a monarch butterfly, but I know those are not totally their colors, but, and then here's the little body for the smaller butterfly. So how gorgeous with this, and I love these colors and how they blended well together. But then there is the little butterfly. Okay, so that's what you can do with, again, an open stamp. Let me show you some closed stamps. This is all using the same color palette. This one here is Impressions of Bloom. Well, here is the butterfly. This is Impressions of Bloom, and I did these 4 flowers. So here's this one. And then you can either put an orange center. Well, that's not the center. An orange center. See? And then you have this little one. Gosh, my hands are so dry. And then here's this one here. Okay, so those are the solid stamps. And like I said, it's using the same color palette. Let me see, as you can see, I did lots. Here's where I cut out to the tree. It did not blend in as well. So I did not use that, as you can tell, because I don't like it. this is what happens. This is exactly what happens when your baby wipe has outlines or has a texture to it. See these little lines here, right here? These are the H for Huggies. This is great for babies' bottoms, but not for stamping technique. We do not want a texture, and that's why this particular one is the best. Now, if you're doing your own test on baby wipes, or you have baby wipes laying around the house, check them out and see if they have this texture. And let me know what you find. If you found some that do not have texture, put them in the comments so that it can help everybody. Okay? So this is an example as to why you don't want to use a textured baby wipe. This is stamping it on just a paper and not cutting it out. That was the tree. But here's the little flowers. And then I have one more. This one here is the cone flower. Now I have not done anything with it yet, but here is the cone flower using that same color palette. It may have been a little lighter. Of course, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same baby wipe. It was the same color palette because I did this one way early on. Okay. And so you can then put this on this little piece here that cuts out. This fits up perfectly. Let's see, it fits up perfectly on one of these, one side, yep. And then you can just kind of overlay this one to where it overlays. See? And then this is what the leaves look like. This is the leaf, what it looks like when it's cut out. Okay? So this, it just gives you an idea as to what can be done with the baby wipe technique. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me check my notes and make sure that I've covered everything. So what are you wondering about this technique? Put your comments and your questions and comments in the comment section below so that I can answer. Let's see. I think this video on Facebook will only last a month, but I am going to cross-post it over onto YouTube so that it always stays there and it will not disappear. So I'm not quite sure how that whole thing is working, if it will stay there on Facebook forever or if they're kind of cleaning it out, which I totally understand. Let's see, I think that's all that I have on my notes. So just comment for me, give me a like, a heart. Also, please follow me if you haven't done that already. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.